Hi, everybody. Jeff Johnson here with you on Clerk TV. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you our guest for today. He's been here before, but we brought him back, David Wall, the Clerk of Court in Habersham County. We are glad that you are here. How are you?
Thank you for having me here.
When was the first time we were talking about that? 2016?
16, I think, maybe 17.
Oh my gosh, you are a grizzled veteran of Clerk TV. But we're glad to have him back because I'm sure there's some good things you guys have going on, and we're all excited about finding out a little bit about that. But first off, as we always do, please tell everybody where Habersham County is and a little bit about the people there, you know, the industry, that kind of thing.
Okay. We're in northeast Georgia, just south of Habersham County and just east of or west of Stevens County.
Okay.
Northeast Georgia corner. And we have a large poultry industry in that area, a lot of agriculture, population of about 46,000, a little better than 46,000 now, but still have that small town feel, and a lot of tourism there as well with the state parks and Habersham Tallulah Falls State Park. Part of that
great place.
Part of that is in Habersham Parks in Raven, so we share that. As well as the Chattahoochee River.
Gotta love the Chattahoochee.
Habersham and the Sequoia River, a lot of fly fishing. A lot of fly fishing in that area. So a lot of golf courses.
So basically you've got an oasis in the northwestern side of Georgia.
I think so.
How long have you been the clerk there?
I took office in January 1st of 2005. So it's been about 17.
It's been about 17 years.
I'm in my 18th year now, so it's hard to believe.
Well, you know, I know you say it's hard to believe, but it's always good when great people find what they like to do and they continue to do it. Why do you like doing this job so much?
Well, I've spent just about my whole life in working in the public sector or, in service to the public, whether it's in the private sector or the public sector. Started working in a grocery store as a bag boy at 14 years old.
I know those days.
And,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Started at that after school, and then moved on in. I worked in funeral business for several years. I became a funeral director and embalmer. Worked in that for about 20-something years, and I was elected the county coroner in Habersham in 1992 and took office in 93. I did that for 12 years that I was also in the funeral service industry. And but I decided for various reasons I wanted to take a little different route and run for Clerk of Superior Court. So I did that in 2004 and was elected and took office in January of 2005.
Now, you know my next logical question that I'm going to ask. What were some of those reasons? What spurred you to do it? I mean, you already have had an incredible career. I mean, you've done all these other things, and even in public service and doing things for the community. But what were some of those things that drove you to do that?
Well, in all those areas, I've always felt drawn toward public service and helping other people when there was a need, whatever the need might be. In becoming Clerk of Superior Court, I saw a need there that I felt like I wanted to get involved in and have really enjoyed it. I have loved every minute of it. And when I was running for Clerk of Court, I had a very close friend who was a retired federal court judge, Judge Smith, Sidney O. Smith, Jr., from Gainesville. He has passed now. Unfortunately, we miss him very much. But he was a great friend of ours, and he gave me a word of advice, though, when he found out I was running for office. And he said, and I got his permission to use this and future things. And he said, you're welcome to use it any way you want to if it'll help you. But he gave me a bit of advice, and he said, David, your job is not to tell people what they cannot do, but to help facilitate their needs and what they need to do, as long as it's in accordance with the law.
That is a very unique way of saying serve the people.
Right. Serve the people as long as it's legal for you to do that.
Very important.
Because as you well know, many times we have situations that come up where we can't give legal advice, no matter how much you'd like to help people. In some areas, some areas we're restricted from being able to help.
Right.
But help in all those areas that you can.
Makes sense.
And so it does.
It makes sense.
And I enjoy doing that. And I see the Clerk of Superior Court's office really is the hub of the county for many reasons. Of course, we know court documents and that sort of thing, but also real estate records.
There's a lot that goes through. People don't understand. It's like a history capsule in your office. You know, the people when they come into your office, what can a citizen expect when they walk through your doors? What can they expect from you and your staff?
I'd say good public service first. I expect that, and I've been very fortunate to have a great staff.
I
mean, let's face it, I may be Clerk of Superior Court, but without a good staff, I couldn't function. And I have a very great staff that works very hard in helping people and serving them and facilitating their needs.
How many is on your staff?
12. I have
That's
12.
a lot of folks to have to coordinate.
Right. We have state court and juvenile court, and state, juvenile, and superior.
Okay, you got a lot going on.
In addition to the real estate department.
My goodness gracious.
It's a busy office.
So here you are, you've been doing this for a while now. I'm sure you've had a number of things you're proud of, things, some you're like going, well, I shouldn't have done that, maybe I should have done something different. But really, the accomplishments and different things.
Right.
And I know this is a tough question. What do you think you're most, the thing that stands out to you most in your career as clerk?
I think one of the things that we've been able to accomplish and are still working on, because it's a work in progress, is being able to take a lot of the old historical records and digitize those records for preservation for the future. And we, let's face it, many of the books are so old that,
hundreds of years old.
Right, and Habersham County was founded in 1818, so we've got records that date back many years, and so you can actually look at some of those documents and it's almost as if they're handwritten, beautifully handwritten, but it's almost as if some of that print is fading off the pages.
Oh, I can believe it.
So we've got some technology now that they can scan those documents, and actually the scanned image is better than the actual document itself, so it's really helped in trying to preserve those records. And we have gotten back a long ways from where we were when I took office, but as funds has allowed, we're continuing to try to work our way back to hopefully we'll get them all eventually.
And what a service that must be to your constituents.
Exactly.
I mean, what
right.
have you? Because to me, it would seem when you can walk in and say, "Hey, can you get this for me?" and you can instantly does it. Have you seen any? What's the response that you've gotten from your constituency with this new service?
Well, I think some are pretty amazed.
I could believe it.
For instance, I had one situation where someone called me from a county in South Georgia. They had a family member that heard in history had been killed in Habersham County. And so we started doing some research, and I was able to locate those records, make copies of those records, and provide those for them. And it was a lady that was actually killed in Habersham County in 1939. And the trial, unfortunately, was a murder, and so it was there was a long trial. We found all the court documents. We found the coroner's inquest records. Found it all. They were quite amazed that we was able to lay our hand on that.
So if you're into history, would this be a good job or a good internship for somebody?
It would, absolutely.
Yeah, it seems as though it would be for a young person maybe to get involved in.
Or a young person that's in college looking for an internship.
Right.
We have done that with some folks, and some even in the criminal justice system.
That's awesome.
Going into regardless what field, whether it's going into law or paralegal,
any of that kind of
criminal justice.
Yes, very much so.
As a whole.
You know, we always try to lighten things up a little bit. You know, we talk about all the great things that you've done, wonderful staff, beautiful facilities, right?
Right.
Have you done any new stuff to your facilities?
We have a new courthouse that was built. Well,
that's a lot.
It seems new.
New to you, right?
New to us. It was built in 2013.
Okay.
So we've been in there. We moved in about this. Well, it was actually in the fall of 2013.
Wow. Okay.
So we have a great facility and are very fortunate.
Excellent.
Very fortunate.
But people know you over at the office and all the other things. But I'm sure when you're out in the community doing your thing, you like to have a little fun every now and then.
Oh,
What do you do for fun? What's some of your hobbies? What's some things you like?
I would say antique cars is my biggest hobby.
Is it really?
So pretty much anybody that knows very much about me knows that I'm tied into the antique cars.
Now, get into the cars. What's your number one that you own, that you have, your car that you love? What is it?
There's two.
You can't even do one.
It's hard to decide one without the other, but I have a 1948 Packard Custom 8, which is a very special built car, and I bought that car in 2005.
Wow.
And it needed a total restoration. It's been a labor of love. A lot of work and time.
Does your significant other give you the room to do these things?
She does. She loves them.
Good.
She's not going to work on them.
Right on.
But she likes to ride in them and go to the shows and that sort of thing. We have a great time doing that.
Well, see, that is what it's all about.
And we've been able to travel around doing that a little bit.
Good. Because you know what? Sometimes you got to have some downtime from all that work you've been doing
do.
for all those years.
You do.
Well, what about the second car?
Okay, the second car is a 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood 60 Special.
Sweet. What color is that car?
It's a black car.
Oh, man, that's got to be a sweet ride.
Yes.
Oh,
beautiful.
My gosh.
I fell in love with that particular car when I saw the movie Driving Miss Daisy.
Really?
The 55 Fleetwood in Driving Miss Daisy looks exactly like the one that I have. It looks like the car.
Do you ever
love it.
Do you ever get any movie places that ask you to use your car?
I've had some interest.
Have you really? How cool is that?
Calling, wanting pictures. I've sent pictures. They haven't actually used one yet, but
it'll come around.
Yeah,
it'll come around. Well, listen, you have the floor. You can say anything you would like to the citizens of Habersham County right now, please.
Okay. I was born and raised in Habersham County, and am a product of the Habersham County school system, and only moved away for a little while for college and came back and have spent the remainder of my life in Habersham County, and I have no plans of going anywhere else. I think we live in a beautiful part of the state and have the best of all worlds there, and not to mention the wonderful people that we live around and serve with.
Listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to come back and talk to us.
Thank you.
David Wall, Habersham County Superior Clerk, and this is Clerk TV.